Hello, everyone. It's Charlton. Please subscribe to my channel. Tap the notification bell. I'd appreciate it majorly. And I wanted to just do a follow-up on this story about the family that drowned, the father and his 16-year-old son and his 9-year-old daughter at this resort in Spain. Club La Costa World, I believe it's called. I don't have it up on the map. And I mostly wanted to read the Sky News report, basically, where the mother is contesting some of the information that's out there. It seems like many reports, including coming from, the Spanish, police or civil guardia, which is like the state police, somebody said in the comments. Um, basically claiming that they couldn't swim. And I'm going to read what she says in this Sky News report. It's contrasts, staunchly contrasts with what's been reported. And she's saying that they could swim totally, and that there must have been something wrong with the pool, So let me just read you the statement put out by the Guardia Civil. The Guardia Civil have carried out a full. This is actually the statement from the owners of the pool, or the owners of the resort, the Club La Costa World. The Guardia Civil have carried out a full investigation which found no concerns relating to the pool in question or procedures in place, which leaves us to believe this was a tragic accident which has left everyone surrounding the incident in shock. This statement was put out very early on, okay? And then subsequently the reports were that the surviving child, I forget how old she is, who I think was actually swimming too at some point, even though she wasn't in the pool the moment the first child, the 9-year-old, drowned or started to have difficulties. Supposedly, the police or the Spanish police say that the surviving child claimed the other children couldn't swim, and I think claimed that they all couldn't swim, something like that. That's what's being reported. The mother's saying that's not true. I'm going to read you exactly what she's saying, and then I'm going to make a few comments at the end, about what goes on YouTube routinely now. It's just routine. It's probably been routinely for a long time, long before I just started watching YouTube, of people in the comments who are working for somebody. Okay, I don't know why regular, ordinary citizens would be so concerned about these huge corporations' bottom line. Okay. And seems so sympathetic to the corporation and not so sympathetic to the families and the individual citizens. Totally. So, but Gonzalez, who I think is the spokesperson for the Guardia Civil or the Spanish police authorities, Gonzalez said police inspected the pool and found no irregularities. Police officers did not find any anomaly that could indicate a swirl or suctioning current. He said. Media reports said police initially suspected a problem in the pool's suction system. Gonzalez said police found the girl's swimming cap in the grate of the suction system. He said the water in the pool was very cold, and this may have been a factor in the drownings. And I find that, just a little bit preposterous that that's actually referred to in another, where they basically they just make this bland, broad statement in that, that's it. That's that. Case closed. That, the cold water might have contributed to them, going into shock or something and not being able to swim or it just seems extremely glossed over. Francisco Gonzalez, a spokesman for the Civil Guard Union, AUGC, said, the surviving sisters has said they didn't know how to swim. That's been reported, that the Spanish authorities, and according to this, and it's basically quoted there, saying that the surviving sister said the rest of them didn't know how to swim. With that information and the fact that we know the water in the pool was very cold, the mystery of what caused this awful tragedy begins to unravel itself. And I just find those kinds of sort of glossing over statements pretty suspicious, And so let me just read you what the mother says, because it's in stark contrast. First off, the pool was only 2 meters deep. The deepest part was 6.5 feet. For the grown man, I don't know how tall he was, but he probably wasn't much less than 6 feet tall. It was just 5 inches over his head in the deepest part. Okay, and when you listen to the mother or wife's account, they all entered from the stairs, and she thinks they were sucked to, or she sort of suggests they were sucked to the center of the pool. And by the way, that swimming cap being in the grate, that's been reported different ways. Some said it. Some initially it was said it was found at the grate, the bottom drain, of the deep end of the pool. Another report says it was in the skimmer. That came out later, by authorities, where normally the skimmer catches the leaves and stuff. And earlier, some reports said it was in the pump, and made it through the system into the pump. It's just there's a lot of misinformation, and it seems to me that misinformation and these changing stories seem to work not to the advantage of this family, in my opinion. So, but when you read what the mother says, I mean, it's pretty striking. So a mother who lost her husband and 2 children in an accident at Spanish Resort says she believes something was wrong with the pool where they died, which made it difficult for them to swim. Diya, Olubunmi Diya, said her husband, who was 52, and her son, who was 16, and daughter, who was 9, all knew how to swim, contrary to some reports. The 3 died on Christmas Eve at Club La Costa World in Fuengirola on Spain, Costa del Sol. Mrs. Diya said in a statement released to Sky News, this is like Fox News in the United Kingdom, "I believe something was wrong with the pool that must have made swimming difficult for them at that point in time." Hotel operator CLC World Resorts and Hotels said in response, diligent and exhaustive police investigations into this tragedy have confirmed that the pool was working normally and there was no malfunction of any kind. Our sympathies remain with the family at what we understand must be a stressful and desperately upsetting time for them. Miss Diya's Facebook account describes him as a manager of Open Heavens London. Another daughter was reportedly on holiday with the family but not harmed. Miss Diya said, Our family are utterly heartbroken. We are deeply shocked. I'm just trying to get to the point. Miss Diya also said the family wished to clarify some details of what had happened following inaccurate information being made public. She said the 3 who died knew how to swim. Mrs. Diya added, the whole family, all 5 of us, went to the pool together and were all present when the incident occurred. That's different than what was being reported. It was being reported that the 2 young girls, the 9-year-old that drowned and her sister, were at the pool by themselves, and that the 9-year-old, got into trouble, and I think the other sister had to go get her parents. That's what was reported previously. She's saying that's not true. The children were not left unattended. We followed the instructions displayed by the poolside at all times. I will say that statement concerns me a little bit because it sounds a little bit like what a lawyer told them to say, but I have no idea. And I'm sort of on the family side here, because I don't know, but something seems off to me. The children went into the pool using the steps, but found themselves dragged into the middle, which was deeper, and called for help when they could not get out. My daughter did not fall into the water. My husband went in via the steps trying to help the 2 struggling, while I ran to the nearby apartments shouting for help to assist my husband. By the time assistance came, the 3 of them were underwater. Our Foreign Office spokesman said we are providing support to Mrs. Diya following the tragic incident in Spain. So when she says the 2 of them, she means, I think, because the son, the 16-year-old went in first to help his sister, and then the father went afterwards. She doesn't mean the 2 girls. She means the 9-year-old and the 16-year-old. And, in another report, This is the only place I really saw this, and I don't know. I don't know for a fact, but I find it extremely suspicious. As I like, and frequently in situations like this where there's a huge corporation involved, when you find people in the comments, overwhelmingly defending the corporation. I mean, that just defies common sense. It doesn't make any sense. Why do people have compassion for a corporation? Why are they so concerned about the bottom line of a corporation? It's ridiculous. But in another report, it talked about a resort worker who claimed, reports say a resort worker who dived into the water to recover the 3 bodies has said he also experienced difficulties reaching the surface and exiting the pool. So, I don't know. I don't know. But the initial reports that they all couldn't swim, and basically, there was they were basically characterizing it as, the father went in and the daughter just dragged him down with her, and then the son went in and, and the 3 just dragged each other down dragged each other down, and they all drowned. And that's still possible, but I don't know. I'm not so sure. And I think that these early reports that are put out there as quickly as possible to confuse, and seem to benefit or seem to be not to benefit the family are very suspicious to me. And, this just totally resembles, the cruise situation with the grandfather dropping the baby, from 150 feet up that died, So many people seem so concerned about the cruise's bottom line. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense because they're not real. They work for some PR firm, that basically is being employed by the corporation. Vegas shooting was totally this, and that's just what it was. Some people were fascinated by it and things like that, but there was a ton of what I'm talking about. Ton of artificial stuff going on because there's huge dollars involved, up to $1 billion. Okay, and that garners a lot of interest, big time. And that's the story there, dude. That's the story there. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll see you give me a like down below. I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.